couple of years ago, a TikToker that went by the name of DigitalPrincxss found herself in a huge scandal after getting arrested for leaving her child home alone while she drove 11 miles away in the middle of the night to go hang out with some friends. Articles, reports, and videos were made discussing the situation, discussing how she lied to police, trying to claim that she had went out to get a new bottle of laundry detergent, then claiming the reason why she lied was due to anxiety, and after the report was posted online, she began to get a lot of backlash and a lot of her followers grew very concerned, which is when she started responding with videos like this.
Please do not believe everything that you will read on the internet.
For quite some time, she tried to deny a lot of the accusations made against her, claiming not to believe everything you see online.
I know there's a lot of things being posted online that are very out of context and very much untrue, so please do not believe everything that you will read on the internet.
Him by being arrested, man.
But as it turns out, from a video posted about 2 weeks ago from recording this, it seems like the one who hasn't been truthful has been DigitalPrincxss herself. Hello, if you hear any buzzing in the background, I apologize. That is my air conditioner. It is very hot, and yes, I am still wearing a beanie, even though it's 90 degrees out. If you are mad about that, stay mad. Don't worry, I'm just kidding. Not really, but if you aren't mad about something, you're gonna probably be mad about something by the time this video ends, because we're gonna talk about something that I have brought up 2021, almost 2 years ago. This situation resurfaced and it's somehow even worse, and my blood is boiling. If my blood's boiling, your blood's probably gonna boil too, because I'm dead inside. Over the past few weeks, I've noticed a bit more activity on two older videos that I made back in 2021, both of which were about a creator or a TikToker known as DigitalPrincxss. Also, apologies in advance if I become irate, because this situation just makes me furious. So if you don't know who DigitalPrincxss is, let me catch you up to speed. DigitalPrincxss is a TikToker. She has over 2 million followers at the time of recording this video. Back in 2021, she had a bit of a controversy. And by controversy, I mean, well, she was arrested for child neglect because she decided it would be a fantastic idea to leave her house while her child was sleeping and drive 11 miles away to go hang out with some friends. When her child found out that she wasn't home, most likely panicked. He was a 4-year-old boy, if I remember correctly. Not only that, he was also autistic. Upon waking up and realizing that his mother was not there, he ended up leaving her house and wandering the streets of their neighborhood, which they had at the time just moved into, and ended up approaching not one but two strangers that ended up getting the police involved, and, well, DigitalPrincxss ended up getting arrested. She tried to lie to police and say that she was just going out to get laundry detergent. When they tried to look at the bottle of detergent she had, it was not full, so it definitely didn't seem like she had just bought it. She had no receipt or proof of purchase. She eventually admitted to lying about that and said that she did so because she had anxiety about getting arrested.
I'm also, I know it doesn't matter anymore, and I apologize for lying to you, and I know that is really down to like to a police officer, because obviously all lies get caught up and like that. And then I should have just told the truth about that. My anxiety gets me.
Not a smart decision at all, but probably the second dumbest decision she made that night. The first, obviously, being leaving her child alone while she went out with friends, even though she did have a nanny and did have family in the area that could have watched him. So for a while, this stirred up a lot of upset reactions, concerned followers, and people just wanting to know what happened. DigitalPrincxss was released from jail. Her charges ended up getting dropped. After that happened, she made statements on TikTok where she was dancing in front of a car which she had rented. It was a big fancy green sports car, and she was essentially mocking her followers and critics for expressing concerns about the situation. And I can't play the audio for copyright reasons, of course. The lyrics went along the lines of, he's mad, she's mad, big mad, aha. She was basically telling her audience to stay salty for expressing concern and being very curious about what happened. Of course, in any situation, even when you're not in a controversy, you're gonna get mean comments here and there, but a lot of the comments did seem to be genuine concern and outrage over what she had done. She actually wanted to address this whole situation on OF and put it behind a paywall, which is weird to me and kind of gross. After that point, it seemed like her OF account was either banned or she had removed it. I think it's back up now. And by the way, this is nothing against anybody that promotes themselves on OF or has an OF account, but I do want to just mention again that, yeah, she wanted to put the statement behind a paywall. To me, that doesn't sound like somebody that's taking a situation like this seriously. To me, the way she responded even now doesn't seem like she's taking the situation seriously.
When I said I was going to post my statement on that website, it wasn't going to be the statement you guys all thought I was going to, it wasn't going to be about what you guys thought I was going to be talking about.
And she also claims that the statement she was going to post on her OF account wasn't actually going to be the statement people thought it was. I don't know what that means, but I'm guessing that she was really trying to bait this hate mob that she was getting of people who are outraged by her neglecting her kid. She was absolutely using this situation to bring traction to her OF account, whether it was really going to be a statement or not. It doesn't matter if this was to make fun of haters. Like I just said, you're still not taking the issue seriously, and it doesn't seem like you're receiving the criticism that's actually being given to you. You're just kind of dismissing it all as hate and lies when people are just genuinely concerned about your kid. Like I said, I had made 2 videos on this. The first video was pretty much just covering the original situation, which was her arrest, and then the second video was going over more of her reactions to everything. I'll link them both below, but here's a clip from the second video. There's a particular reason why this response is extremely important for the additional context we now have. I've always had a difficult time finding the right nanny for my child, but as a SW and influencer, it's inevitable that I need to have my son in a progressive and safe environment while I am doing events, collabs, and shooting. I am so blessed to have an individual that understands our collective and personal needs. I trust them with the most important thing in my life, and they allow me to be able to continue my career and provide for us. At the first part of this, she claims that she needs to find a nanny that she can trust, but at the second part of this, she implies that she already has one, and if I'm not mistaken, she also has family that live in the area. So in this particular instance, why couldn't you just bring your kid to your family member's house when you went out that night? And if you already have somebody in your life that you trust prior to this incident, why didn't you bring your kid to them? This part is just confusing to me because it just says 2 different things at one time. It says she needs to find somebody, but she already has somebody, and it just doesn't make sense. So as you have just seen in that video, I was confused about the mention of a nanny, how he needed one, but how she implied that they already had one. She was very vague, leaving people to wonder, did she have a nanny? Did she not? Like, what did she mean by this? It's almost like she tried to make the excuse that she didn't have a nanny without outright saying it. And the reason I think that she didn't outright say it, well, is because she did have a nanny. Or at least it was said that she did, and she said that she did, in the new police footage that was released.
Am I understanding this correctly? You have a nanny?
Yeah, for earlier in the daytime, she helped me out with him.
And there's this clip of her mother saying, yeah, she has a nanny. I don't know why she wasn't called.
Where's her nanny?
I don't know where the nanny is.
Does she usually have a nanny?
She has a nanny. Yeah, a full-time nanny. And
wow.
I can't believe she made that decision. That's so not her.
Oh yeah, there have been a lot of inconsistencies from what she has said in a lot of her responses to the new footage that was released less than a month ago at the time of recording this.
And I know there's a lot of things being posted online that are very out of context and very much untrue, so please do not believe everything that you will read on the internet.
You really think someone would do that? Just go on the internet and tell lies? Wow!
I'm not going to react to the entire video because it's over 30 minutes long. I will link it below for you to see, but I want to go over a few things that just really became inconsistent with what she had said. She tried to dismiss people's concerns, tried to say that people were spreading misinformation. She tried to mock the situation for what it was and mock people for their concerns. And it turns out the only one that seems like they were lying was her.
And you guys added on so many lies and rumors to it, and there's no point of me sitting there defending myself from everything, because in the end, it's not going to matter what I say or do because people will still have the same opinion about me.
So this was uploaded by a channel called called EWU Bodycam, and it has over 2 million views at the time of recording this video. I really don't want to show too much of the beginning of this video because it shows the officers walking around the neighborhood, and even though it's already been seen by 2 million people, I just don't want to put that on my channel. But to break it down for you, the first few minutes of this video are neighbors expressing their concerns to police because DigitalPrincxss was not there at the time that the police showed up. The neighbors had the little boy. They were concerned. He was just wandering the neighborhood. The police ended up contacting DigitalPrincxss. I think they got her number through her realtor. Again, they just moved into this neighborhood.
Just moments later, the realtor is able to give Marissa's cell phone number to police.
Yeah. Do you get her?
Yeah, we got in contact with her. She's on the way. We're just waiting for the kid now.
Okay.
They also called the child's grandmother, who then showed up, and throughout this entire video, the grandmother, she seems like a normal person who genuinely cares about her grandson and has the compassion and concern that DigitalPrincxss, the child's mother, should have had from the start.
I'm shocked that she did that. I can't believe it. What's her name? And
Wow.
I can't believe she made that decision. That's so not her.
Right.
That's why I'm so shocked that this is even my sister's like, that is nothing she would choose to do, but apparently she did. I can't believe it. I'm glad he's safe because it's so different here with animals and whatever else is out here, and that's why I was shocked when you guys are telling me why. I'm like, wait a minute, what?
I feel really bad for the grandmother, or DigitalPrincxss's mother in this case, because she was gutted. She was very upset. She couldn't even believe her daughter would do this, and she seemed very embarrassed as well. This entire situation is really sad, and I feel really bad for her. I feel really bad for her son. I really don't feel bad for DigitalPrincxss in this situation, as I'll get into later, because this was the result and consequences of a decision she made. I truly believe this was more than a lapse of judgment. I don't know a single parent who would be comfortable leaving their child unattended at such a young age, even for 10 minutes to run to the store and get detergent like she claims she did, let alone driving 11 miles away to go hang out with a friend. That, as police have also decided, is child neglect. That is neglecting your child. You are the caretaker of your son. You are supposed to be there protecting him and watching him. God, even if he didn't leave the house, didn't wake up through the night, even if you did, even in that case, you don't know if somebody could break into your house, especially as an influencer where you're recording outside all the time. You don't know what people could be capable of doing. All it would take is 5 minutes. 5 minutes for somebody to break into your home and steal your kid or hurt him severely, or for your child to wake up and maybe not leave the house but get into something to get hurt. There are so many things that could have happened, and this could have went so much worse. Everybody in this situation is so lucky that that little boy is okay. That little boy especially is lucky that he is okay. And this is all due to the decision that his mother, DigitalPrincxss, made. I do really want to point out something that I guess is a positive thing in this situation. I think the officers in this situation are really compassionate towards the child. One officer even says that I'm not going to cuff you in front of your child. Like, they already know that the child is traumatized enough. I do want to say I think that at least is fairly nice for them to do, because they could have just cuffed her and just threw her right in the car and not cared at all, but they at least did that. But then there are points when I think that the officers are a little too nice to her over the situation, but that's just my opinion. But at least they had the decency to not do that in front of her son, because it is a very traumatizing thing for a child to see their parent get arrested for any reason. I just really hope that the situation in general doesn't give this poor little boy any severe anxiety issues as he gets older. There's another point in this video that just gets really awkward to watch. There's a cop that compliments DigitalPrincxss's Crocs.
I like the tie-dye Crocs.
Thank you.
And then DigitalPrincxss responds with, "Ma'am, am I getting arrested?"
Him might be arrested, man.
And I heard where they're coming from.
Don't know that yet.
And then they're like, oh, I don't know. It was just really awkward. So much so that even the narrator acknowledges that.
Just a few awkward moments later, it seems a decision has been made.
Aside from it being awkward, DigitalPrincxss seems more concerned about potentially getting arrested than she cared about the safety of her own child. At no point did she show what looked like any form of remorse. She didn't seem to show any tears. She didn't seem to be overly apologetic. She didn't seem to be super concerned about her son. There was a point in the car ride to jail that she was saying that she was sorry for lying to the police officers because she was anxious.
I'm Also, I know it doesn't matter anymore, and I apologize for lying to you, and I know that it's really down to lie to a police officer because obviously all lies get caught up and everything like that. And then I should have just told the truth and not let my anxiety get to me.
But at no point did she seem overly apologetic for doing this to her child. You shouldn't be apologizing to the police officers. You should be apologizing to your son, and you should be showing more concern about your son. Even when they talked about the potential of the equivalent of CPS getting involved, she still didn't sound very concerned at all.
And what does that mean exactly? That it just means that I'll now be checked up on?
They allowed the child to be released into the custody of his grandmother for the time being, so they'll do their follow-up. Again, I don't want to speak to what another agency will do. I don't do their job, and again, I don't ever want to misinform or mislead. So they obviously will be reaching out to you and conducting their own investigation.
So I'm guessing you wouldn't be able to either answer the time if my kid's going to be taken away or not.
That I can't answer. Again, I don't want to speak for another agency.
Now, to play devil's advocate, however, just because someone doesn't sound concerned or seem apologetic doesn't 100% mean that they're not. Maybe she was in shock, or maybe she was anxious and was just trying to deal with things. Sometimes people are like that, but she still didn't seem apologetic at all after all of this happened. When she spoke about it on public social media, she seemed to make a mockery out of the situation. So with that in mind, and seeing this video footage, I really don't believe she was remorseful. That's just my own personal opinion on the situation. And after all of this had blown over, I had hoped that, yeah, maybe she would work towards being better at this situation. But as we see, not only did she lie about certain aspects, but she's still responding and acting the same way. There are so many comments that say, oh, she's grown, she's changed, she has held herself accountable. This doesn't look like somebody holding themselves accountable. And yeah, maybe if you've only seen this one thing. Hi, Chester! I could understand if maybe you only seen this post here, which she recently shared on her TikTok. A video was recently released from something my family and I were involved in a couple years ago. I already don't like the first sentence of this. It sounds like she's trying to spread the blame out to not just herself but her family, when all of this is entirely her fault. I wanted to address some questions and comments some people have had since this video came out. I made a bad choice that cost me a lot, but not nearly as much as it could have. Watching that footage was like looking into a window at a different person. It's something that will be part of me forever, and I have accepted that. I had the mindset for months after I was arrested that my job was to prove to the world that I had changed, until there was a moment of therapy where I realized it was my goal to change for my son. Since then, you don't hear me talk about it much because it's not my job to prove to anybody but my son that he's my priority. In any other circumstance, I would say that's fair, but she spent a long time mocking the situation online, and that's what a lot of people are angry about. You were drinking and out partying and making content. It doesn't matter where I was, because I should have been home. But to address this, it's no secret what my line of work is, but to affiliate SW with a party lifestyle because I had a moment of terrible judgment brings other people in the industry down with me. I was sober and not creating content. Now, I can't tell you if anybody actually commented that or not, but what I can say is that most people I have seen who have talked about the situation acknowledged that this could make other S workers look bad, and the point that many people were trying to get across is, don't make that judgment on S workers just because of this person's mistakes. With that being said, however, I think she is using this as a way to deflect a little bit. You had no remorse. I was so sad and angry at myself that I deflected that into my content for months. You didn't seem angry with yourself. You seemed like you were mocking the situation. It's hard to watch knowing what I know now. Did you have an out-of-body experience where you just forgot about everything? But it's out there and I can't do anything about it. But you can make the same kind of content that you made those videos back then to show that you're just repeating a pattern. CPS has been called so many times you should lose your son. No, it hasn't, for one. This is a shitty rumor and also public information. We never had an issue outside of this. Again, I don't know if, when, or where this comment may have been made, but they did mention that they were calling the equivalent of CPS to investigate this situation. Now, I don't know how many times that was, but that was mentioned by the police officer.
And also, so that you're aware, the Department of Children and Families is also notified of the event.
Yes, correct.
I guess, yeah, that would be our version of Child Protective. Is that stand for Child Protective Services?
Oh, yes, yes.
Yeah, so it's DCF in the state of Florida, Department of Children and Families.
I hate when people say I shouldn't have my son in my life. My whole world revolves around him. It's just been me and him since his father relinquished rights, and I work my ass off to provide the best education and future that I can. He has everything he wants, and he's so polite and well-mannered. I know I up, but I raised a smart, talented boy, and I'm proud of that. I owe that to him and nobody else. I'm not gonna pretend like I know what happened in her life or her son's life or why her son's father left, but that doesn't have anything to do with the mistake that you made in this situation, and the only thing I can say is that I feel bad for this little boy. I can only say that I hope this was a one-time thing and that it will never happen again and that you have become a better parent, but I really can't say for sure if that's the truth, and I question your judgment to this day because of the way you've responded after this text post. Other than that though, I cannot say for sure one way or another what the truth is on that. Only you can, and the only thing that other people can do is respond to what has been posted online by yourself, by the body cam footage, and by the reports that were made, because the police report is public and at one point she tried to deny its credibility. You deserve to be deplatformed. At the end of the day, social media is my job that supports me and my son. It's your choice whether or not you choose to platform me and support me, and I love and appreciate each and every one of you that does. I appreciate the opportunity to continue to make entertaining, cringy content for you. I don't know if she should or shouldn't be deplatformed. I know in this case she probably won't be. I think she's going to be fine. I think she's going to continue to have a career. I think that this is eventually going to blow over as well, and she's going to continue making a very successful lifestyle for herself. The only thing I genuinely hope for is that she does become a better parent to her son, and that she stops taking this like a fucking joke. And you might be saying to yourself, well, TehMimi, this wasn't the worst response I've seen. The thing is, this isn't the only response she's made to this. If it were just this alone, it wouldn't be that bad. But guess what she also does? If you guessed that she makes another TikTok dance and gloats about it and mocks her followers and critics once again, you would be correct. Me right after each hate raid. Finally feeling like I healed from my past and can move on from it. YouTube video posted with 2 million views. What really gets me angry in this situation is she is now responding to this in a very similar way that she responded with the car and mocking the people giving her criticism or expressing concerns.
What do you think, Wackus Bonkus? Kill him. Who? You naughty Wackus Bonkus.
How people think I am after reading my comments? Me. She's made a series of TikToks. She's made a series of tweets. Ironically, she made a somewhat seemingly apologetic or seemingly remorseful thread on Twitter. Actually, it feels less remorseful and seemingly more humble. But the reason why I'm saying seemingly is because I do not want you to be fooled. You'll find out why in a second. But first, the tweets. To be honest, I'm starting to feel comfortable again with posting content like I used to 2 years ago. Like with TikTok and Instagram, I felt like I was being held back for a while because of criticism. I feel so much more comfortable with myself and my online presence that it no longer bothers me what people have to say about me. Thank you friends, followers, and supporters who have helped me get back to feeling like I can be my normal self again. Social media helped me figure out who I am and allowed me to express myself while also allowing others to gain confidence to post whatever the F they want. I'm glad I never gave up this job and will continue to go on with it as long as I can. Now, after reading that, let's go take a look at her Threads account, where things are worded a little bit differently. I want to talk so bad to these people that don't know me online. I know I'll just run in circles when arguing with them, but holy shit, people are dumb with the claims they come up with about me. Most of those people would crumble if they had their lowest point of their life plastered all over the internet while receiving thousands of hateful messages and threats that I get daily. I don't condone harassment, wishing ill on somebody, or sending anybody threats, but I would love to hear some examples of the claims that people made up about you, because for the past 2 years, you have been responding to everybody's concerns by saying not to believe everything you see online, despite your police report chirping out and lying about the severity of which your situation was. Which, again, makes me think that even if she does apologize at all in any situation regarding this, I don't think it's genuine at all. She then made a TikTok responding to some hate comments that she got, essentially trying to make themselves the victim in this situation.
I'm feeling a little bit down on myself. I should read some inspiring words, comments from the people. Let's see the first one. People still support this waste of oxygen. But hey, saw your body cam on YouTube. Made me remember how much of a piece of shit you are. I love positive feedback. I love when humans can encourage other humans to do worse. Or whatever Dr. Phil said. Next. Eat healthier and run more often. Eat less fats. 2, drink water, for it cuts muscle really well. I wouldn't take advice from someone who was on body cam. You know, I was just gonna say take a nice 30-minute walk in the morning. But you're right. Go be a better mom than a shit influencer. I'm sorry, but all I see is influencer? Me? Next. I just seen the video on YouTube just when you think you couldn't be more of a pile of doo-doo. Poo-poo pee-pee. As soon as I saw all the tats, I was not shocked. Not that all people with tats are bad, but all bad people have tats.
Yeah, as soon as you get a tattoo, you automatically get a felony.
Ma'am, you are lucky you didn't get a felony over this. Not the tattoos, obviously, the whole child neglect issue. Here's the thing, people can be nasty online. Even if you are the most positive person who hasn't gotten into any controversy, there will still be mean comments. Unfortunately, the internet can be very vicious. I'm not saying that that's okay by any means. I'm not saying that that is something that people deserve to go through, even people who have done bad things. And I'm not saying that I condone that in any way. I don't condone people harassing or even going as far as sending threats or wishing harm on others or wishing that some people themselves. I don't condone any of that. I don't think any of that is okay. As I pointed out in my previous video, which I can show you a clip here, here's the thing too, and I think this is important, especially as somebody who complains about a lot of people doing a lot of crappy things online. Of course, you can make mistakes in your life, and you shouldn't be defined by those mistakes for your entire life. And that's kind of what she's saying in that last paragraph. You know, she made mistakes, but that shouldn't define her for the rest of her life. She shouldn't be punished for the rest of her life. And that's true. But this happened recently. This isn't something that happened 5 or 10 years ago that you've learned and grown from. A lot of people are going to still question you and be concerned. And I think that's valid, and I think that's fair considering how serious this entire situation is. It has been almost 2 years at this point since the original instance had happened, and DigitalPrincxss does seem like she had regained a good portion of her following. Prior to this, it seems like she's been getting a lot of positive feedback. In fact, even on the videos she's made, still mocking this situation for what it is, responding poorly in my opinion, she's receiving a lot of positive feedback, which is something that not a lot of influencers can say that they have gotten for doing far less, by the way. So first of all, you were able to get away with this legally by not getting charges pressed. Secondly, you were able to continue posting online and continuing with your career, living a very comfortable lifestyle. And these are things that not every influencer who has gotten in a controversy can say that they still are able to do. She is still in a very decent position to have such a large following online. With that being said, no, I don't feel bad that she's still getting criticism for this. And on top of that, like I had mentioned in the video clip I just showed you, this was a major up that you did, and I think that you need to allow people to take time in deciding if they're going to forgive you or trust you again. It's not going to be something that happens overnight, and it's not going to be something that you should be expecting people to just forget. People need time to earn trust back on an influencer who does something like this, but now that it is nearly 2 years later, you are not only displaying that people still shouldn't trust you over this because you were just exposed for lying about aspects of the situation, you're also perpetuating the same pattern of behavior that you were 2 years ago, with the same kind of attitude, with the same kind of carelessness, and with very little remorse for the situation that had taken place. There were some good things that I think she had done that I had mentioned in my previous video, like she was going to, I think, counseling or some sort of parenting classes to learn how to be a better parent, which I think is something that was needed and something that I had hoped would help change her and develop more as not only a parent but a person. Also, although it wasn't mandatory, I decided to enroll in parenting classes with a group that can help me learn to do what's best for my family family in such a unique position as an influencer slash SW. I'm hoping to learn so much so I can be the best I can be as a young single parent with such a wonderful son with so much potential in my life. I have had custody of my son his whole life, including the last few months, and it's important that I am learning and progressing as a single parent to not only fill both roles, but to do it in the best, most educated way possible. I am taking it day by day, and I'm already so happy with the moves we've made. This paragraph right here, I completely support. I completely think that that's a great thing that she's doing, and I'm glad to see that she's taking classes to become a better parent. That's not going to undo what happened, but it's good to see that she's actually taking the steps to work on that, because clearly she needs it. So I hope that she's telling the truth and is actually taking parenting classes and is actually taking the right step in the right direction. Just so we're perfectly clear, by the way, what I think she had done 2 years ago is really horrible, messed up, and very neglectful as a parent. I think that she did make the decision to leave her child home alone and go out to a friend's, which was extremely irresponsible and, yes, neglectful. I think she did deserve to be arrested. I'm shocked that she wasn't charged, and there is still no public reason why the charges were dropped. And I'm not going to do any speculation on what I think may or may not be the reason they were dropped, because I honestly don't know. But I genuinely was hoping that after this situation, at least, that she could grow as a person and be the parent she claimed that she was trying to become. I don't know what her parenting is like after this, because she obviously doesn't really show her son on camera. There hasn't been any other huge update to the story aside from this body cam footage being released. But what I can say is, if you are going to revert back to this type of response and treat this again like it was some kind of joke, then to me it does not seem like any growth has been made, at least not in the aspect of you feeling remorseful or sorry for what you had done, because a person who was remorseful for what they had done wouldn't be posting things like this. Like I said in my previous video, I don't think that this should be held over her head forever, as long as she does make the improvements she claims that she wants to make as a parent. Sure, there could be growth and that would be fantastic. But what I will say is that coming back to the internet after receiving outrage and backlash again because this resurfaced and more lies were brought to the surface, responding like this is not going to give people the trust in you that you want them to have. In my opinion, if you are going to go out of your way to mock the situation not only right after it happened, but now 2 years later, that doesn't look like growth to me. At least not in the presence of social media where you have been talking about this. That's a really unfortunate update to this situation, because I genuinely hope that if I were to ever give an update on this situation, it would have been for the better, but it doesn't seem like it is. It just seems like things are even worse than we thought. Thank you so much if you made it all the way to the end of this video. I was originally going to make this a mashup video because I have so many topics that I want to share with you. In fact, so many topics that there are 2 mashup videos that I have planned on top of other long form videos that I have in the works, and some of them, oh boy, I don't think you're ready for it. Anyway, I was not expecting this video to be as long as it is. I just really wanted to get this out there because when I found out about this, it just consumed me with a lot of anger, because the situation had an update that I really was not hoping to know would be the case. I really had hope that things would get better, but no, they just got a lot worse. It's a real shame, to be completely honest, and if I were DigitalPrincxss, I would be very deeply ashamed, but I don't think she feels shame. I really don't. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much to everybody supporting me over on Patreon. Thank you so much to everyone who has provided a super thank. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. I will see you in the next video where we will probably be talking about many different things. See you later.